In Brisbane, officers are concerned about an X-ray of a bag belonging to an Australian man who's returning from Thailand. The image has picked up 4 suspicious-looking objects which may contain something prohibited.
So on the X-ray, we've located 4 what looks to be glass vials within his luggage. We've decided to have a further look at these just to clarify what exactly these items are in his luggage. So is it just Bangkok or you go to other places?
No, I went to Phuket, Pattaya.
Yep.
Phuket for a week, Pattaya for 3 weeks.
As the search gets underway, officers notice that the man is constantly yawning, which can either be a sign that it has been a long flight or that he is nervous about what officers may find.
It's nothing untoward, and you don't have any other movies or anything?
X-rated movies.
Yeah.
The bag is now empty, but there is no sign of the glass vials. The original X-ray is rechecked, and there is definitely something there that needs to be located.
Sound anything like that? They look like vials, don't they? Yeah. It's not in that.
No.
There is a chance that the man's gone to considerable trouble to conceal the items, and he won't be free to cross the border until they are found.
Everything inside is yours?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. I need to open your bags.
Biosecurity officers have pulled aside a passenger at Sydney Airport after he was seen behaving inappropriately.
This man caught our attention when he was waiting to be processed through the X-ray, where he was actually spitting on the ground. You have to open your bags for me.
Too long.
No, it's not too long. You need
Not too long.
Sir, you need to open your bags. Can you help me, please? Open around here.
And the passenger's bad behaviour is starting to get personal.
Excuse me? Do not swear at me, sir. Do not swear at me again, sir.
I don't want the Dubai is check Dubai. I Australia citizen. To Australia to Dubai double check. What happened?
I ask you not to swear at me. I am not swearing at you.
After 20, you know, is to
Excuse me,
Dubai
sir.
double check.
Do not swear at me again.
The man seems unwilling to open his bags.
No key, no key.
And an X-ray of the contents may explain why.
We can see that there are quite a large number of organic items showing up on the X-ray, which more than likely means that it's food.
Okay, this is you again?
He maintains he has nothing to declare and is refusing to hand over the keys. So officers have no choice but to use force to access his suitcase.
We've got to do our job.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is my eating tea, you know, tea, Jamus tea, going tea, Jamus tea, tea. This special tea. I drink in Australia, you know. You understand?
I do understand, sir. His behaviour is very abnormal for someone that's going through a standard procedure. He's getting very personal, using profanities. I'm just going to have to try and restrain him from continuing, otherwise I might have to go further and call the Australian Federal Police.
Despite the warnings, the man then spits in the nearby bin, and it seems he is far from finished with his extreme behaviour. Australian Border Force officers are stationed at all of Australia's international mail centres to keep a vigilant lookout for any illegal contraband being smuggled into the country.
Okay, have a look at this one here. Looks like some sort of pistons. Looks like there might be some inconsistencies here.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit too much orange, too much organic for what you'd expect in what looks like a car part. What have we got, 6 or 8 machine parts? Going to a company?
No, just going to an individual.
I think the density here, the organic, warrants further investigation. If we have a closer look at it, it just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense that these machine parts would be going to an individual.
The package, which has been sent from India, is opened by Australia Post and will now be examined more closely.
See if any of them are loose.
Yeah, it looks like there could be a join there.
From the X-ray image earlier, it's really this bottom section of the piston that we're interested in, which could be easily explained by fluid or lubricant, but also could just about be anything organic, and that includes all our narcotic and precursors.
Narcotics have previously been found to be cleverly concealed within machinery parts, and there are subtle indicators suggesting that this may be another case.
This one's interesting. Unlike the others, this appears to have some sort of adhesive.
And it looks like it might have been glued back together.
Border Force officers in Brisbane are struggling to locate 4 small vials hidden somewhere inside the bags of an Australian man returning from Thailand.
Okay, so first examination through the bag, we haven't actually found the small vials. We've gone and had a further look on the X-ray to find which part of the bag they're in, and we'll do some further examinations in his actual clothing, see if it's actually concealed within any of his items.
Now, every piece of clothing will need to be thoroughly searched. His toiletry bag is rechecked, as is his briefcase, but there is still no success. The last place the vials could be hidden is in his bag of dirty washing that will be checked on X-ray. And it looks like this is what officers have been looking for. Officer Ben finds several rolled up socks and a pair of underpants, and all of them feel as though they have something hidden inside.
So, what can you tell me about these?
I Australia citizen. To Australia, to fight about it. What happened?
I asked you not to swear at me. I am not swearing
I'm
at you.
T20, you know. This is to fight about it.
Do not swear at me again.
At Sydney Airport, biosecurity officer Andrea is doing her best to deal with this aggressive passenger returning from a trip to China.
And I've asked him not to do that before. I don't appreciate the profanities coming from his mouth. However, we have to do what we have to do. You have a lot of tea, sir.
I will see tea. This one nothing.
So you
This
need
one open, you know, tea, you know, blacken. You know?
don't yell. I'm not yelling at you, sir. I am not yelling at you.
You smart, you know, you did it smart, you know. No stupid, you high.
That's your opinion. Stop swearing. He's very distressed and disgruntled about something. So first of all, I'm going to try and calm him down and ask him not to swear, and we'll go ahead with our inspections and see why he's the way he is today.
The man's bags are full of undeclared organic material, and it's not long before some prohibited items are located.
Okay, what's this?
Yeah.
What is
This one
it?
is food, you know, food is
Mushroom.
cooking food,
mushroom.
you know, nice one.
Yeah, I know.
Okay?
Not okay.
The mushrooms are not commercially packaged and could contain harmful contaminants such as mold or soil. They'll need to be inspected further, as even more potential biosecurity risks are located.
So you, this,
Yeah, put my car is
Yes.
locking, 12, every day 12. In Australia, locking, very locking. You understand?
stop yelling at me, sir. Okay, listen, sir. Listen to me. This, you should have said yes to question 7. Okay? This is a part of a plant. I
I
understand.
don't know.
They're part of the plant material. All this, you should have declared here. You said no, no, no.
Failing to declare such a large amount of organic material means this angry passenger may be facing a large fine.
What happened trust you working here?
Yeah,
I
that's
do
my job.
understand, you know. Come on, you know.
Stop swearing. Stop swearing.
So, what can you tell me about these?
Australian Border Force officer Ben has just discovered some vials hidden inside the dirty washing of an Australian man returning from a holiday in Thailand.
Andrew Lane.
Yeah.
Decker. I don't have access to it in Australia. I can get it from Thailand.
He claims the drug is for treating a recent injury.
I take it. Oh, obviously, burnt my leg.
Yeah.
It's not testosterone. It's to repair muscle.
In fact, nandrolone is a testosterone as well as an anabolic steroid used to build muscle, and he doesn't have a permit or prescription.
See, at this point in time, you have committed an offence. You've brought in a prohibited import across the border.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
But he will need to come up with a convincing explanation if he wants to avoid a criminal prosecution.
There's a little bit of damage here. Looks like it's been held in a vice.
And this one's got drill marks there as well. Could be an indication that it's been tampered with.
Australian Border Force officers suspect that 8 pistons sent from India are being used to smuggle in narcotics.
The pistons appear to be a commercial consignment, but there's a few indicators that that's not the case. Shoddy workmanship. Anything we see which doesn't look like it's consistent with what we'd expect wouldn't have these layers of, from what we can see, adhesive here and a few scratches.
Pistons are a precise piece of machinery and should all be identical.
So we're weighing them to see if there's further inconsistencies, and straight away we see that one of them weighs more than the other. You'd expect the exact same pistons, they should weigh the same, so that's definitely suspicious. Yeah, I think we need to see if we can open them up and have a look.
We'll just drill through and see what we find.
No meat. Chinese sugar, some of these, no chocolate.
I can find out. I'll have a translator translate that.
At Sydney Airport, this highly agitated passenger could be facing a hefty fine, as 15 kilograms of undeclared organic material has been found in his luggage.
This is China. This is department, no double check. Okay, go.
Sir, China's
You know?
different to Australia. This is Australia, not China,
This is
sir.
Australia citizen is nothing. You look at the ball.
Ignoring his tirade, biosecurity officers turn their attention to the high-risk foodstuffs he is carrying.
Andrea has inspected the passengers' bags and he didn't declare anything. And what she's found is beef lollies. These are actually made out of beef. And beef from China is a prohibited item because some of their animals can have foot and mouth disease. So we don't let any beef products into Australia unless they come via an import permit.
Sir, please don't walk away when I'm talking. No, you can't smoke here. Sir.
Also a prohibited item, they're Chinese red dates. These very quickly become a weed that's very hard to control. When they're whole, they have the seed, and that's what we're trying to stop coming in.
You give me happy, this one bag, happy.
I will.
Okay? Open.
His prohibited items will be destroyed, but failing to declare them is an offence and carries a penalty.
Judging by already how he's behaving, it's actually going to be very interesting to see what he's going to be like when he's going to be told that he's going to be issued with an infringement notice today.
This give me really open.
So we'll see how he's going to go with that.
Australian Border Force officers are drilling into a machine piston sent from India, as they believe it contains an illegal concealment.
Oh yeah,
It's like white powder.
but it's certainly not what you'd expect inside a piston. Just field test that and see what
Grab some
comes
test
up.
kits.
It's suspected that the white powder may be ephedrine, which is used by criminals to manufacture methamphetamine or ice.
So when I break the second ampule now, it should go purple if it's ephedrine, and yep, and that's positive for ephedrine. I think it's safe to assume that there's a concealment in each of the pistons.
Yeah, from the X-ray image, that'd be the case. We're satisfied that there are precursors to narcotics in this package, so the next thing for us to do is to transfer this whole package to our investigations team.
In Brisbane, this Australian man has been caught trying to enter the country with prohibited anabolic steroids.
We've located him within his dirty washing, concealed within underwear and socks. We believe this may be a way of avoiding customs or extra scrutiny by putting him in with dirty washing.
And it's not the first time he's done it.
So he brought this stuff into Australia before? Yep.
Inquiries will be made to see if this resulted in any charges. But for now, Officer Ben needs to read the man his rights, as he's committed a criminal offence and he will likely be facing prosecution.
All right, so before we go any further, you're just going to have to listen to what I'm about to tell you. Yeah. You do not have to say or do anything. Yeah. But anything you do say or do, maybe use as evidence. Yeah. Do you understand that? Yeah. All righty.
His bags are repacked and he will be taken to an interview room for further questioning. But Officer Ben still has a concern.
So are you carrying anything else on your body at all today?
Biosecurity officers at Sydney Airport are about to issue this unhappy passenger with a fine.
You failed to declare on the card, okay? So today, there'll be a fine of $340.
300. I no money. I don't know. I don't.
Okay, well, if you don't have the money, we can go to court, or you can pay today.
I go to court. Okay, I don't.
You want to go to court?
Yeah, court. For the local, high court, doesn't matter.
Okay. So.
I don't know. This one is food. This may be food. I don't know.
Yeah, but
it's no gun, no come to our house, no gun, no. You know.
So you need to calm down and listen to me. So
I don't understand. You know, in this country. Me is life very, very hard, you know. Is from Central give me family money, you know, from Australia government, you know. You charge me money, some Australia government no happy, you know.
Don't come too close to me.
You have to Central, you know.
Stop, just listen, please listen. You will be here for another at least 2 hours. Because to go to court, we have to do a record of interview. No, you can't.
I don't understand.
You can't bargain with the government. No, 340 is the fine set by the Australian government. Okay, I don't put the fines on. You're away, okay? All right. You pay today, and then you can go home and you can go have your cigarette. Okay. So we'll pack your bag. He's already agitated enough. He just wants to go out and have a cigarette. So he's going to pay the fine today. He'll be told next time that he needs to declare, and he won't spend as much time with us here. And hopefully he's learned his lesson today and he'll do the right thing in future.
So are you carrying anything else on your body at all today? That's all right. So you've not got any other, that's it?
No.
Having already found 4 vials of steroids hidden inside this man's dirty laundry, Border Force officers want to conduct a Frisk Search to make sure that he doesn't have any more on his body.
So you're now detained for the purpose of Frisk Search? Yep. All right, so obviously he's going to run his hands over the outside of your clothing.
Oh, yeah, no, you're all right, mate. You're all right.
Have you got anything in your...
Sorry, mate. You're all right. Give me go.
Nothing is found during the search.
No issues with the way Search form. Okay, so you're no longer detained.
Yep.
Okay. So what we're doing is just set up a room.
He will now be taken to a private room and officers will conduct a record of interview to set the groundwork for a prosecution. At Melbourne International Airport, Australian Border Force officers have taken aside this American woman as several details of her travel have stood out as a little unusual.
Someone's paid for a ticket, they've booked a ticket for her, and she's only here for 5 days with one little backpack and a handbag, which we kind of think is a bit suspicious.
She claims that her brother-in-law paid for the trip.
How come he paid for it all, just out of curiosity?
Because he's a good brother-in-law. He won a lot of money. He won a lot of money in a poker tournament, and I'm planning their wedding.
Okay.
So I was supposed to be in Vegas planning the wedding, but they decided to come here, so we all decided to come here on a vacation, and I'll just finish planning the wedding here. She's like,
Well, by the sounds of it, it's almost done. So
Yeah.
why did they need to fly you out? Couldn't you just do a few minor
because
details
it's a
over the
vacation.
phone?
I just went through a nasty breakup 2 months ago.
Okay.
So it's like a vacation for me as well. I just got the call that we're all going.
Okay, so he called you,
No, my sister did.
sister did,
Yes.
and said what? Just out of
Pack your
interest.
bags, we're going to Australia.
And you said,
Woohoo!
good, free trip, bonus.
It shouldn't be too hard for officers to verify her story. In the meantime, a swab test of her belongings may expose another fact that she will need to explain. That's a very high reading for traces of methamphetamine, and also certainly means that she has been in contact with it.
So I've done a swab on your bag, and it's come up positive
What?
for drugs, illegal drugs.
What?
This Australian couple are returning home to Sydney from a trip to China. They've both indicated that they have nothing to declare. However, an X-ray of their luggage is suggesting that this may not be true.
As we're going through here, we're finding a few items that look like could be food. One large items and some smaller items possibly could be fruit. These are definitely a couple of items of major concern, and they really need further inspection here.
First, Biosecurity Officer Warwick wants to confirm that their declarations are correct.
Okay. You said no to everything here, you two?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you packed them yourself?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to open these bags.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Is that what's in there? Biscuit?
That's lolly.
Lolly?
Yeah.
No,
Lolly? That's a chestnut.
Not lolly.
Chestnut.
Nuts. Yeah.
Chestnut, yeah. Do you see the word nuts in there? Number 7. What is this? What is it? A vegetable?
Like watermelon, something like
Watermelon.
that. Something like that.
It's a fruit. It's a watermelon. Number 6. Why didn't you tick? What's in here? What is that?
These are for cooking.
For cooking, but what is it? It's a green vegetable.
Green.
That's a green vegetable. You understand English? You understand the word vegetable?
Not all the time, and I do not understand all.
You told me before that you understood those questions.
Yeah.
The problem is, this is a legal document. It's a declaration to the Australian government that you have answered these questions correctly. You haven't told us you've got all these items. These are not allowed in the country. What is this?
Oh my God.
Australian Border Force officers are about to interview 2 Pakistani men who are travelling together and claim to be visiting Sydney on a short holiday. Officer Lee speaks to one of the men with the help of a translator.
What is your purpose for travelling here today?
I just came here for relaxing time.
Is there any specific details that you can provide me regarding your, relaxing time here?
여기저기 돌아다니려고 그랬어요.
I'm planning to visit here and there within Sydney area.
Okay. How long are you planning to stay in Australia for?
일주일 정도.
I will be leaving within a week.
And where are you staying? Have you booked your accommodation?
San Marta?
I have a booking with my friends at a hotel in George Street.
And so who's paid for this accommodation?
My friend did.
Okay.
It's 60, something like that.
For yourself, just only yourself?
No, 2 people.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to suspend the interview for a moment, okay, to speak to my manager.
Sydney is one of the world's most expensive cities for accommodation, and Officer Lee is not entirely convinced by the man's story. So she wants to compare it to what his travelling companion has been saying in the other room.
So he stated that the room is $60 a night and 2 of them will be sharing. Is this right? No,
that's not correct. That's not consistent to what we found.
What we found it.
Both by contacting the hotel and from what the other person's saying.
Okay.
Why have you come to
Officers continue to question both the men, and it is soon discovered that many more details of their trip are not adding up.
How long do you intend to stay in Australia?
Some of the inconsistencies include their tourism plans, where they're going to be in Australia, as well as their intended departure dates. Based on what we found out, I do find it hard to believe that they are genuine tourists.
In Melbourne, large traces of methamphetamines have been found on the belongings of this American woman, which indicates that there's a very strong possibility that she's recently been in contact with drugs.
So I've done a swab on your bag and it's come up positive.
What?
For drugs, illegal drugs.
What?
Now not a small reading, but a large reading. That machine has indicated to me quite strongly that you have come into contact with some sort of drug.
We don't use drugs. I'm like...
Fair enough.
Clean as...
What I'm trying to do is get to the bottom of why the machine would tell me that
Okay.
you've come into contact with drugs,
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, he's
So
looking through all
at the
my
moment you can't tell me any reason why.
I've never been in trouble.
Never been
Clean
in trouble?
record. Never, ever, don't have anything on my record at all. I'm a nurse.
Yep.
I'm also a drug and alcohol counselor. I mean, I have patients that are in bands that tour all over the world. So it's my job to keep them sober while they're on tour. So, I mean, I'm
Okay.
probably
Oh.
subject to a
How's
lot
that
of
as a
stuff.
job?
It's like being a glorified babysitter for a bunch of spoiled brats.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But, I mean, I'm sure I come into contact with God knows what, you know.
Her explanation seems plausible, but because the readings are so high, officers want to conduct a frisk search. While it is being conducted, at a different bench, officers have just taken aside another woman off a different flight.
So I have here a female passenger. She's coming from Dubai. She's also been in Ivory Coast and previous to that, Nigeria. So I just want to have a chat with her and examine her further.
But before officers begin this interview, they decide to X-ray her bag first and immediately discover that there is something very wrong.
Looks like a concealment.
You haven't told us you've got all these items. These are not allowed in the country. Now.
At Sydney Airport, 2 Australian residents have returned home from China with a bag full of undeclared food, and high-risk items continue to be found.
What is this?
Oh my God.
This is not allowed in the country either.
Go to the rubbish.
It's going to go in the rubbish. It's going to be seized. You've got little seeds in here. What's in there? What's that? These are dates that got a seed inside, not allowed in Australia because the seed. But the same old thing, you haven't declared these on your cards. On that card, have you? You've got a lot of items here not declared. What's in here, sir?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you're the passenger coming into Australia.
Someone's bird given to my wife.
Someone gave it to you. What's this?
It looks like seeds. Looks like seeds.
Seeds for growing, isn't it? Growing this plant?
Yeah, I think so.
And again, you have not ticked it on the cards.
Yeah, only trust me, I really don't know someone put in.
Sir, you are the passengers coming in here. You are responsible. I did ask you at the beginning if everything belonged to you, and you said yes. Now you're telling me someone else has put something in here?
Help us. A lot of friends come to help us to put it in.
Well, you're the responsible person. You need to know what's in your bags.
Yeah.
You just can't bring seeds in here and not declare.
Big trouble.
This is serious, sir. This is very serious.
Australian Border Force officers suspect that these two men are not telling the truth that they've come to Australia for just a one-week holiday.
Based on what we found out, I do find it hard to believe that they are genuine tourists.
And officers have now found some concerning evidence on one of the men's mobile phones.
We've located text messages indicating that he's coming to Australia for an extended period, and also there are references to working in those text messages.
The person he's speaking to looks like it's his partner offshore, and he's saying that he's going to be here for 3 months. All the messages seem like she's pretty upset that he's going to be away for that long.
The passenger will be confronted with the incriminating messages.
Before you just go 10 days, now 3 months. I don't know how to live my days without you. Honey, you can have to do work for us. So obviously this is indicating that you're planning to, be in Australia for 3 months. You'll be working here in Australia. So this is correct.
In Melbourne, an American woman who's had high readings for methamphetamine has just been frisk searched and nothing has been found. Officers conclude that the readings must be a consequence of her occupation back in LA.
I'm a nurse and I just traveled here from California, and I'm also a drug and alcohol counselor. So I come into contact with people that are on drugs and trying to get off drugs, and I sometimes help them dispose of drugs. And so apparently when they did their little scan of my items, they detected trace amounts of drugs on my belongings. So we just had a big, huge check of my belongings and tried to sort everything out. And so I think it's all sorted out now, but they do a good job.
But at another bench, this Japanese national is not going anywhere soon, as officers suspect they may be dealing with a possible drug courier.
She's been in Ivory Coast before here, and Nigeria before that. So she's staying at the budget hotel in Preston.
Her bag has been X-rayed, and the image clearly shows 2 abnormal densities in the lining of the bag.
Judging by the X-ray image, we believe that there may be a concealment there.
It will still need to be tested. And at the bench, Officer Janelle has noticed a concerning detail about the woman.
It was revealed that she is pregnant. She's approximately 32 weeks along.
A swab is now taken to be tested to see if there are any traces of narcotics.
That's meth, good reading.
This is serious, sir. This is very serious.
An Australian couple returning from China has been caught making a false declaration about a large amount of prohibited items they are trying to bring back in their bags.
What we've found initially are chestnuts and a melon, a bit of fruit, dates, cheese, and now we've found some seeds items for growing. What's that for?
I don't know.
You don't know. It's in your bags and you don't know. These are seeds for sowing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not allowed.
And this find is not the last of it.
Now, that's concealed in a tea bag, isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
That's the same as these other seeds, sir. Did you see the word seeds in there? Why haven't you ticked?
I don't know.
As even more items are found, the couple continue to plead ignorance.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I don't know.
But they may not be as naive as they are making out. As Officer Warwick discovers, they are both seasoned travellers.
You're Australian citizen?
Yeah.
You've been in and out of the country?
But never trouble, trust me. Never we do something.
Well, there's going to be a bit of trouble today because you've got some food items here that you haven't declared on your card. And
The situation is not looking good. And to make matters worse, Officer Warwick has found something he has never encountered before.
Sir, what is this? Looks like part of an animal, is it?
Yeah.
What sort of an animal?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
The fleshy appendage is certainly from some kind of animal, and discovering exactly what it is sure to be disturbing.
What is it? What is it?
Before you just go 10 days, now 3 months. Honey, I don't know how to live my days without you.
Australian Border Force Officer Lee is struggling to believe that this man and his friend are intending to stay in Australia for just 1 week's holiday, when a number of messages on his mobile phone suggests otherwise.
This is indicating that you're planning to, be in Australia for 3 months. You'll be working.
아니 저는 저 여자친구랑 하려고 해서.
These are from my girlfriend. I just sent her this message just to get away from her. I wouldn't be staying in one place for 3 long months.
It's an unlikely explanation, and Officer Lee's concerns are shared by her supervisor.
I find this really implausible. You don't just go and tell your partner that you're going away for 3 months for work and then you arrive the next day in a foreign country.
She's not his partner, she's his girlfriend.
Regardless. He's turned around and said that he's not available for 3 months.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he said that to her, and he's going to be away working. Well, he's turned up here.
Taking this into consideration, along with both the men's conflicting stories, there is now enough evidence to make the next step.
After weighing up all of the information available to me, I am satisfied that grounds for cancelling the visa outweighs the reason for not cancelling. I have therefore decided to cancel the visa.
With both the men's visas cancelled, they will be returned home on the next flight, and they face being excluded from entering Australia for 3 years. The X-ray of a bag belonging to a heavily pregnant Japanese woman is showing a possible concealment. And a swab has tested positive.
That's good reading.
She has been read her rights and has been escorted to an interview room. Officers originally took her aside due to a number of suspicious details to her travels.
She was in Nigeria for approximately 2 months before travelling to the Ivory Coast. Also, she stated that she was only here for a short time, 3 days. She had never been here before. She didn't seem to know a lot about Australia. She had no set plans while she was here. All she mentioned was that she was shopping.
Her empty bag still shows a strange mass on the X-ray.
The image shows there could possibly be a concealment within the sides of the bags, so we'll examine that further.
It will now be drilled to see exactly what is concealed inside. An unidentified animal part has been found in the suitcase of this Australian couple returning from China.
Sir, what is this? What is it? Looks like part of an animal, is it?
Yeah, I think
What
so.
sort of an animal?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
Deer, from deer.
From a deer?
Yeah.
Again, you haven't ticked, have you? You haven't ticked it at all?
Sorry, no.
Well,
sorry, no.
sorry's not good. On further inspections of that, it looks like the parts of a deer penis that they obviously eat for whatever reasons, health reasons. Most of these items...
Deer penis is used in traditional Chinese medicine, and to retain its properties is often extracted from the live animal. It's believed to have various health benefits, including enhancing sexual potency in men.
Okay, that one I got to sleep here for sure because I'm a little bit sick.
It doesn't matter whether you got a certificate or not. You have not declared.
Okay.
It's part of an animal, part of a deer, and it's not allowed in this form.
Okay.
Okay? It's raw meat. It could have animal diseases such as anthrax or foot-and-mouth disease. We can't be sure what's in it. It needs to be commercially prepared in a can, cooked in a can, not raw dried meat with part of the hair attached. You're going to be fined $340 today for not declaring these foods. It's going to cost you.
Okay, I agree.
Yes, you have to.
Because I did not think that I have to. Okay.
Yes.
On top of paying the $340 fine, all of the couple's seized items will be destroyed, making this a very expensive lesson. Australian Border Force officers are about to drill a bag that they believe has narcotics hidden inside its lining. The heavily pregnant Japanese woman who owns the suitcase has been taken to an interview room and is still maintaining her innocence.
Her demeanour is quite calm. She doesn't seem to be too much concerned. So she's just stayed the same level the entire way through.
The bag has now been drilled and a powder has been extracted.
A white crystal substance has actually come out of the side of the baggage.
This is taken to be tested with a machine that fires a laser through the substance. These devices usually produce an extremely accurate reading.
Methamphetamine, 92%.
The result and the purity will be confirmed in a lab, but for now the 23-year-old woman is handed over to the Australian Federal Police.